says do this, you do it. If I just say do this, you don't. If you do it when I don't say Simon says do this, you die. Make sense? Let the games begin. Thank you, AT, for using my supporter creator code. Hope you enjoy the video. Simon says everybody look directly up. Simon says look down. Okay, look up right now, really quickly though. Okay, look up. Simon says stand up. Simon says crouch. Simon says stand up. Now crouch. Thank you for not running away or building. Simon says step forward if you were the one to not follow the rules just a second ago. Honor system. I will find you in replay mode and I will kill you. Thank you. Good man. Good man. Hey, be a good man. Nice. Blake it. We appreciate you. And who's the other guy? Jockin, we appreciate you. YouTube video comments will appreciate you. Simon says do a 180 and look towards the south. Simon says you have one chance to look in the direction that I'm about to say, and if you have to use your compass or turn one way and look back, you'll be eliminated. Simon says look towards the east right now. Took way too long. Thank you. Good man. Good man. Good man. Simon says everybody do the default dance. Last person to do it will get eliminated. It's going to be on this side. It's up to you guys. But you too. Too slow. Oh, okay, you got it. Okay, fair enough. Simon says blueprint's out. Pickaxe is out now, quick, go, quick. Nice. Simon says pickaxe is out. Simon says step forward towards this white line right here that I'm shooting towards. Simon says form a circle around me. Simon says we're going to do the same thing where I'm going to take a snipe shot and whoever dies takes one for the team. Wet pizza slice. I like you guys move away. Simon says take one more step forward towards the center of the circle. Simon says 2 more people are dying. Simon says take 1 more step forward. Simon says take 1 more step forward. No way. Simon says literally touch me. Simon says 1 more person is dying. Okay, Simon says run! No! Simon says everybody kill that man. Don't get too close to him. Don't get too close. Don't get too close. Okay. Perfect. Simon says everybody run towards the little rock that I'm shooting towards right there and get on top of it. Just form a big clump around there and then look towards yourself, which is where I will be standing. Simon says dodge this RPG. You guys got good reflexes. Okay, I'm proud of you. Simon says we're gonna go to bridge and go towards the gas station.
Where is he at?
Simon says enter in this metal box. Simon says touch the back. You must be touching the back. If you're not touching the back, you will die. If you're in front of someone else, Simon says you will die. When I say go, the person who is not able to enter in the trash can will die. Go. Okay, now go. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. Simon says go. Oh no. Sorry, boys. That's the end of the road. Let's find out Allison, Visual Wasp, and Chung. Simon says... Oh, hey, whoa. No one said anything. So actually, with the rest of you guys, what we're going to get you to do is jump on out towards here, look towards the east. Guys, come on. All right, I'm going to go in zone. Let's go in zone. Guys. Hello? Simon says, come on, let's go. That was such bad acting. Whoever wins this, I'm gonna put your YouTube channel in the description of the video. So make sure you try to win it, okay? If you have a Twitch, I'll link your Twitch. You guys just need to tell me in chat, and then I'll write it down. Winner gets a YouTube channel or Twitch channel shout out. Simon says there is a trap tower with 2 traps up there. Simon says there is 1 exit. Simon says you must enter in and try to survive. Simon says we're gonna go a little bit easy on you and make 2 exits. Simon says everybody go now.
Hey, stop, Avery.
Simon says go right now or you die. Okay. Simon says line back up. Simon says no looking, no waiting, no hesitating. If you hesitate, you die. Simon says line up single file behind me. Simon says go.
Trash.
You didn't go through the exits. Simon says drop a trap for Nick A30 if you've got one. Thank you. Simon says line back up. We're going to do this one more time. Okay, this is going to get a little spicy. Simon says everyone towards the bottom, but don't jump on the launch pad. I'm giving you a chance to look at the trap to see how you're going to get out. Simon says be quick, though, because Storm is coming. Simon says come on over, look in it, and then Simon says
Let's go, Boomers.
Go back and line up. Figure.
Alright, chill out, Nick.
If you like idle games, you should check out Idle Army Base. Train your army and dominate the world. Unlock new zones to make your troops into super soldiers. Unlock achievements for extra rewards. And spend them on epic upgrades. If you've got what it takes, enlist today.
Imagine getting lasered. Imagine!
Hi, my name is Landon, and I'm 23 years old. I'm a blind person. Well, okay, not really. But I pretended to be blind for a long time. Intentionally. I know you're gonna judge me, and why not? You have every right to. Still, I'll be grateful if you hear out my story first, and then you decide. I used to be an outcast at high school. I don't know why, but everyone hated me for some reason. They used to call me names and shove me in the hallways. I thought that I would get a new start when I started college, but boy was I wrong. The same stigma was attached to me in college. One girl went so far as to call me stinky. It doesn't feel good to know that you're going to be an outcast your whole life no matter what. The weirdest thing was I hadn't even done anything. I was just labeled as a freak because people found fun in that. One day I was crossing the road when a blind girl came and stood next to me, asking me to help her cross the road. Well, before I could do that, a bunch of other people gathered around to help her. So I got an idea. I saw how disability was getting her people's sympathy. Yeah, I was that desperate. I didn't care if I got their affection in the form of sympathy. I just needed everyone to stop hating me. So what I did next was I missed a few weeks of college. I got some fake medical certificates made and then proceeded with my plan. I used to live alone, so it's not like there was any tension with my parents. And I somehow started a rumor about me getting into an accident and losing my eyesight. Those fake medical certificates came in really handy. And after that, my friends, my life took a 180-degree turn. The people who used to keep the distance from me were now at my beck and call, always asking me if I needed anything or if they could help me in any way. The first few days, I was guilt-ridden, of course. I felt like I was deceiving them. And
Imagine!
But then I told myself that this is the only way that I could ever fit in with them. So yeah, I wasn't about to change anything with regards to my blindness. As a few days passed, I started realizing I was getting a lot of attention from girls. They would shower me with their sympathies and care. Some even shed a few tears at my predicament. Well, this gave me another idea. I wanted to take advantage of my blindness to its full extent. While I was at it, I wanted to do things I never had a chance to do normally. I know it's evil and diabolical, but that's how my mind was working at the time. One day, I was passing outside the girls' locker room, and I saw a girl coming out. So I took this opportunity and started acting. I started flailing my arms around blindly. "Hey, are you lost?" the girl asked me, as expected. "Yes," I said in a small voice. "And I have a severe headache. I have to take some meds. Is there a place nearby where I can rest for a moment?" She fell
38.
into the locker room. As soon as I went in, there were screams from everyone inside. They were all in various stages of getting dressed. Now, the girl who brought me in asked them to calm down, pointed out that I couldn't see anything, so that made them relax. Little did they know, I could see everything. Literally everything. They all gathered around me and fussed over me and began searching my pockets for my so-called meds, which, of course, weren't even there. Then they made me sit down, offered me some water, and I'm not going to lie, I was not used to this kind of attention, so I was really enjoying it. One of the girls even offered to drive me home. I didn't refuse. Her name was Leah, and she was really kind and gentle with me. Well, the series of my fake acts continued for the next few days. I would always get into some kind of problem around the girls' washroom or locker room, and every time around, I got to see a lot. And those poor girls were always so kind to take me in. Leah had taken a special liking towards me. She often dropped me off at home after classes. After a while, Leah even started staying and cooking dinners for me. It didn't feel nice to lie to her like that, but, it was too late to tell her the truth at that point. One day, what I feared happened. She confessed her feelings to me. I was happy to see that she liked me, but she didn't know what big of a lie my life was. I didn't have it in me to refuse her, though, so I agreed, and we started going out. I really enjoyed her company, and I liked her a lot. She was always so caring and sensitive to me. But the truth can't be hidden long. One day, I was home alone watching TV. I wasn't expecting Leah to pay me a surprise visit. She came in through the back door, which was open, and saw me watching TV, then walked to the kitchen and poured myself a glass of juice. I'm sure you can guess what happened after that. She slapped me and then left. Well, she told everyone in the college. Now my life is worse than it was before I started this entire blind act. Everyone's disgusted by me, and I can't help but blame myself for what happened, but I want to redeem myself now. I feel guilty about my acts. How do you think I can get everyone's trust back when they're not even... Hi, my name is Victor, and I'm 21 years old. I'm going to tell you the story of how my dad's close bonding with a polar bear wrecked our family. Everything was fine with our family until a few years ago. We were happy, we were normal, and we were content. I could never imagine at that time I would live to see a day where I'd be taking those words back. It started subtly. My dad once went on a business trip for a few days, and when he came back, he wasn't the same. He looked the same, his personality was the same, he talked and walked in the same way, but there were slight changes in his behavior. I couldn't quite put my finger on it at the time, and neither could my mom. It's because it started out very slowly. First, Dad started skipping our fixed family games on Fridays. It was like a ritual for us to spend that time playing games and bonding with each other. Dad was the one who introduced Friday night family games, and now he was ditching those games for work, as he put it. Then, gradually, he started coming home late from the office. Sometimes he would come back past midnight or early in the morning. Of course, Mom was not happy with this, but we were all convinced that he was overloaded with work and maybe a little stressed about it too. So, we thought better than pester him. After all, my dad was a manager in a multinational company, and he made a lot of money and fulfilled all of our needs. So we couldn't exactly complain if he wanted to focus on his work. But slowly, this habit got worse. Now, instead of coming home late, sometimes he wouldn't come home at all. He would say he would work overtime.
So gay for doing that, you
This should have
fucking
given us
bitch.
warning bells. But unfortunately, we decided not to interfere with his business. We owned a beach house a few hours' drive away. One day my sister asked me for the keys to the beach house because she wanted to spend some time with her boyfriend there. I wasn't exactly in favor of it, but she kept pestering me, so I gave in and gave her the spare keys that my dad had given me years ago. The next day, though, she came back home with a pale face. I asked her what was wrong. She said she saw Dad at the beach house swimming with a polar bear in the indoor swimming pool. I laughed at her face and told her to stop kidding. She glared at me and said she would never make up such a sick joke. When she reached the beach house, she saw Dad with the polar bear and ran from there with her boyfriend without wasting any time. They spent some time at her boyfriend's home, and now she was back home to tell me the story. She also gave me back the keys and told me to go to the beach house and see for myself. It was a Friday night. I asked Dad on the phone if he could get some time off work early. He replied in the negative, saying he still had a lot of work to finish in the office. I agreed in understanding and hung up. Then, I took my car from the garage and drove to the beach house. I used the spare keys to get in, and the first thing I did was go to the indoor swimming pool. I had to suck in a sharp breath when I saw the sight before me. Indeed, my sister wasn't joking. My dad was swimming and playing with a humongous polar bear in the pool. "Dad!" I exclaimed in shock. His head whipped in my direction in surprise. In fact, so did the polar bears. The polar bear climbed out of the pool, effortlessly, started stalking towards me. I let out a scream and ran out of there. I didn't start to breathe until I started my car and was driving back home again. It all made sense to me. The sudden change of behavior, making excuses to come home late, missing family nights, everything was so that Dad could spend time with that freaking gigantic polar bear. What in the actual heck? Has Dad lost his mind or something? Where the heck did he even find a polar bear? And why was he playing with it like it was his best friend? I called Dad and literally begged him to come home so that I could talk to him about this. He relented and came home the next morning. I asked him what was going on. He was very casual about it. He told me that his business trip gave him the opportunity to see polar bears. He was so fascinated by them, he decided to adopt one. He keeps it at the beach house and devotes all of his time and attention to the bear. As if this wasn't enough, he went as far as to call the polar bear his best friend. I tried to reason with him that what he was doing wasn't good for our family. Mom was growing more and more skeptical by the day, and it won't be long before our family would fall into ruins. This didn't seem to bother him, though. He said he already had a family, and it was the polar bear. It seemed like he didn't care about us anymore. All along, he was just making up lies to spare us the trouble. My mom found out about this crazy obsession from my dad through my sister. It couldn't remain hidden any longer anyway. But the terrible fact is now, she wants to file for divorce. Hi, my name is Lan.
Do you think we should meet? I looked at my phone. I got a text message from SJ, my online friend. I stared at the message for a few seconds, and I didn't reply. I was overwhelmed with emotions. I wanted to meet him, but I'm afraid. SJ and I met through online gaming 7 months ago. We were obsessed with Fortnite, and soon we formed a team and started playing together. We won lots of games. Then, after a while, we started texting non-stop. We cared about each other. We had more things in common than just gaming. We loved the same movies, we were both obsessed with french fries, and we had the same taste in music. We ended up talking and messaging for hours. We shared personal secrets about our lives, but we felt free to do so because we agreed to keep our identities a secret. Basically, we didn't know much about each other, not even each other's real names. We only knew that we lived in the same town. Then things got complicated because we started to develop feelings for each other. He sent me a message saying, "I kinda like you, like really like you, and I think it would be awesome if we meet for real. Don't you think?" I smiled and I texted back with my fake name, Freckle Girl. "Let me think about it." I went into my room and looked in the mirror, and all I could think of is, how am I going to meet him with this face and this body? Chatting with him behind a screen hid all of my insecurities, and I wasn't ready to expose them yet. I mean, I like SJ too, but the thing is, I wasn't skinny or pretty like most of the girls in my school. I was the only redhead with freckles covering my whole face, which was not exactly the normal beauty standard. Being blonde was the hot thing. I sat on my bed thinking, oh dear, what should I do? I couldn't sleep that night for thinking too much about it. But in the morning, I made up my mind, and we can't just keep this relationship a virtual one. And if he can't accept me for who I am, then we're not the friends we pretend to be. So I sent him a message. Let us meet this weekend. Friday afternoon? How about that? And in 2 seconds, I got a reply. Oh, I thought you would never answer. Yes, that'll be great. I know an amazing restaurant that serves great food. I'll text you the time and address later. But wait, how are we going to recognize each other? I asked. I'll wear a black cap with the letter B. Deal. I sent him the message with a winking emoji, and then I started getting ready for school. For 3 days, I couldn't think of anything but meeting him. I was afraid and excited at the same time. Friday came fast, and I wanted to look my best. So I went to the hairstylist in the morning and had a new haircut. I wore the fanciest dress I own and had my makeup done. I was happy with the result, and then went off to meet SJ. And oh my god! I arrived 10 minutes later than I was supposed to, and before I went into the restaurant, I saw a guy wearing a black cap with the letter B on it. When I looked closely, I was shocked to see who he was. It was Josh, the captain of the football team, the hottest, most handsome guy in our school, and who I swore never to speak to again because of what he did to me in 5th grade. That day, the teacher asked us to name our favorite animals. All the pupils spoke about cats, dogs, fish. I told her that my favorite animals were gorillas because they're really smart. The teacher was happy that I had a different answer, but Josh stood up and said she likes gorillas because they have the same orange hair. Everyone started laughing, and for a whole year, I became a walking joke, and no one wanted to be friends with me or invite me to their birthday party. I looked through the window, and I was furious to know that for the past 7 months, I was talking and playing with a despicable person like him. What a joke! What if he knew who I was and only wanted to make fun of me? I became terrified of this idea, so I just turned around and left him there waiting. I went home and decided not to talk or send him any messages ever again. This relationship is over. The next morning, however, I woke up to a message from him. I waited for you for 2 hours. I hope that nothing bad happened to you. I know you wouldn't stand me up unless it was something serious. Why do I feel bad about it? How do I tell him that I want nothing to do with him again? I kept the message open. I didn't write anything. On Monday, I went to school. The minute I got in, I started looking for him. I had this unstoppable urge to see him. The football team was practicing outside, so I headed there. But what I saw made me more determined to never speak to him again. He was kissing another girl. Actually, every guy in our school wanted to date. What the hell? Was he kidding me? I think the whole I like you thing has ended before it even started. How did I think that a jerk like him could ever change? I turned around and went straight to my class, feeling a bit disappointed and irritated. But then something unexpected happened. Later that day, during chemistry class, the door opened, and Josh walked in. My heart was pounding fast, and I started sweating for no reason. He spoke a few words with the teacher, and then the teacher said, "Say hi to Josh, everyone. He'll be joining us for the rest of the year." Then he looked at me and said, "Manny, he'll be your partner on the project." I yelled, "What? No! I like to do things on my own." But the teacher insisted, "He'll be your partner, Manny. You always do things on your own. You should have a partner for a change." I tried to object. "But, no buts," the teacher screamed. "Let's just keep it that way." Then Josh came and sat next to me, and he said, "I'm a monster, you know." I wanted to run away. I just laughed awkwardly and said, "I know." He was so calm, but I couldn't sit still. We never spoke a word, and as soon as the lesson ended, I walked out as fast as I could. I went straight to the girls' bathroom, and out of the blue, I sent him a message, SJ, telling him that I was really sorry for not showing up to our meeting the week before, and that I was so sick that I couldn't even hold the phone. I lied, but my curiosity got the best of me, and I wanted to see if he'd be nice to me in the real world like he was via the messages. In the next chemistry class, I was a lot calmer. Josh sat next to me, but he was super sleepy. I asked him quietly, "Why are you here? Chemistry lesson?" And he responded, "I need to take extra points so I can apply for a sports scholarship." "You look tired," I added. "That's because I was studying last night," he answered. I laughed. He was...
Repair yourself. Repair your enamel. If this is how you recover, this is your toothpaste. Our most advanced formula actively repairs your enamel. So if this is how you
Lying. We spent the whole night gaming against a Swedish team, and we won. "Why are you laughing?" he asked. "Oh, nothing. I can help you get the points you need if you follow my instructions. I always get A's in chemistry." He didn't like what I said, but he nodded his head. "Okay, fine." We started working on the project together, and we had to meet after school. SJ was not very smart, but with my guidance, we managed to finish the project on time and get an A for it. When he saw his grade, he asked me to tutor him on other subjects. He said he'll pay me, and I said yes. I could use the extra cash. And the more we spent time together, the more I found out that he wasn't that bad. And maybe the whole Gorilla Manila was only a kid's mistake. But something else was bothering me now. He kept seeing Ashley. Ugh, how I hated her. She would come and kiss him on the cheek and say, "Oh, honey, I miss you." Sometimes he would ditch our private lessons to be with her. He'll send me a text message later to tell me that he was sorry for not showing up, and I would explode with anger. One time when we were studying history, Ashley called him, and when he finished talking to her, he got up and said, "Sorry, but I gotta end the lesson here. I need to go with Ashley to a party." I was so furious. I was jealous and felt like he was cheating on me, so I said, "Why is it always about her? The minute she calls, you're like her bodyguard. Your studies are more important than going to some stupid party, you know." He looked at me and said, "Excuse me, but you're not my mother. It's my life." I screamed, "Fine, then don't expect me to wait for you here while you destroy it." I picked up my things and left while he was looking confused. I realized that I felt madly in love with him, but still, I couldn't tell him who I was. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I stopped talking to Josh. He tried to talk to me so I could go back to tutoring him, but I refused. I also kept messages with SJ to a bare minimum. I canceled all our games, and whenever he spoke about meeting each other again, I would make up a lie and pretend to be busy. But one night, I got a message from SJ, Josh. It was short, but terrifying. "I got cancer." I blinked at the message twice. I didn't know what to respond, but then he added, "You are the only person who knows this besides my parents. I don't know how to tell my friends or even my team." I was horrified, but the only response I could think of was, "I'm so sorry to hear this, but I'll be there for you." He told me about his treatment schedule and how he got the news. It was devastating. The next day when I saw him at school, he seemed fine. He was joyful as always, laughing with everyone like nothing had happened to him. When our eyes met, he came to me smiling and said, "I know that you're upset with me, but I just want you to know that thanks to you, I passed all my exams and got the grades I want. I can apply for my scholarship. I'll be happy if you come and watch me in the final game." "Great," I said. I wanted to hug him, but that would be weird, so I just said, "See you around." The final game for the football team came 2 weeks later, and I had to go see him. I didn't care if I went there as a friend, a tutor, or an anonymous friend. I just had to go and see him. I was worried about him playing while being sick. I knew he wanted to live his life as normal as possible, but still, it was dangerous. The first half went smoothly. He even scored for his team. I was happy for him. But then, in the second half, I noticed that he was hardly breathing. He was running when he suddenly stopped and put his hand on his chest. I freaked out. I went down from the stadium and ran straight to the field where the paramedics were trying to figure out what was wrong with him. I came close and I heard them saying, "We need to take him to the hospital. He's not breathing." And without thinking, I said, "Take him now! He has cancer!" Everyone looked at me shocked, and one of the paramedics asked, "Are you sure?" And I answered, "Positive." They took him to an ambulance. I was praying the whole way there that this situation had not gotten worse than it already was. His parents were waiting for him. Actually, it was so awkward waiting with them, but then the doctor came and assured us that it was fine. He was suffering from shortness of breath because of too much stress. He just needed to rest. I went home feeling relieved. When I went to visit him the next week, he was not himself. He looked at me and asked emotions while he was listening to me. I explained everything to him, how I liked him too, and how I was too afraid to show him the real me, and how I changed my bad idea of him when we started working on the project together. But none of that seemed to make it better. He got angrier with every word I spoke. "So you lied to me the whole time. You made me a stupid fool, and then you told everyone that I had cancer. You know you had no right. I wanted to tell them when I was ready. I didn't want anyone to feel sorry for me. Did you know that the committee is thinking of disqualifying me from the scholarship program because they know I'm sick? Do you know that Ashley dumped me because of that too? I hate you, and I wish I never knew you." Tears started forming in my eyes. I was hurt by what he said to me, and I also hated myself for causing him so much pain. I left his room and went home. I later sent him tons of messages on his real phone number, and messages from my online account telling him how sorry I was. But he never responded to any of them. I was going to get some fries, and I saw him sitting with some of his friends. He noticed me, but then he looked away. He was still mad. I took my order and went out. But before I left, Josh followed me to the parking lot. He said, "Yo, Freckle Girl, you free for a game tonight?" I turned around and said happily, "Are you up for a game, SJ?" He nodded and said, "Yeah, and maybe for a meal sometime." You got my number. Text me. He went back to his friends, and I was